Hey there, STEM enthusiasts. This is Courtney, and welcome back to the STEM Spark, the place where we ignite curiosity, creativity, and confidence in every learner through science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. Okay, today we are going to do a toy review or a tool review, as I like to say in my classroom. um, Today I have this kit. It is by Block Science and Education. It is a mechanical principal science suit. It has the STEAM um, endorsement. It says 6 plus. Um, I'm a little curious at their 6 plus just based on the pictures. So we're going to open it up and see. There is 325 pieces. It makes 50 different things. It does look pretty mechanical, and so I am very excited about that and interested to see how well the mechanics work and what principles it's going to teach them. It does say it enhances learning interest, improves hands-on ability, and develop observation and imagination. It has ultra high quality building blocks, varied collation, quality and safety, and all around development. So we're going to unbox it and see. It does list all the components on the back. And so hopefully everything's in here. I will tell you, if you've watched some of my other videos, I buy a lot of my stuff on sale, discounts, or at my local bin store, which is a great place to get sets and kits and things like that if you are on a strict budget. And so I believe I picked this set up for about $4. Um, Online, it is right around the $20 mark, $25. So I will give you my opinion once we get into it as to what I would pay for it again if I were to buy it again. But just unboxing, it just everything seems to come in different bags based on the pieces. Everything looks to be kind of the same color scheme, that gray, black, blue, yellow kind of thing. And then we have rubber bands and some type of tool, which I'm excited about that. That looks really great, super fun. Anytime there's tools involved, you know it's going to be a fun time. And then a pretty hefty book, like that's pretty hefty. So let's dig in to some questions. Um, I would say right off the bat, it looks pretty robust. Like the kit is full. It definitely has lots of components. Let's look at the instruction manual. Okay, so this is very, very similar. If you've done any Lego builds, then this is, or Connects, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Connects. So you can kind of see that, those kind of pieces. The directions are very similar in the fact that they simply just have a one or a number and the picture of what you're doing. And so I would imagine that kids who maybe struggle with visual instructions would have a hard time doing this independently. But kids who are very good at looking at pictures and going in sequence and doing those kinds of ordered step kind of things, tasks, this looks like it would be very well laid out for kids that are really good at things like that. Definitely guided if you have a younger student or someone who kind of struggles with that. It's really a good opportunity when, if that's not a strength currently, to just say, okay, what do you notice? Like, that is one of my most favorite questions. What do you notice? Okay, these are all the blocks we need to pull out. Okay, what does it look like in this picture? What is it showing us to do? And so getting them to kind of slow down and take it like step by step Maybe facilitating that once or twice, and then it would be more intuitive for them to be able to do it more independently. I I'm going to be very honest right now. I'm not seeing a 6-year-old being able to do this without some hefty facilitation and assistance from a caregiver, teacher, parent. So I'm going to try to pick one that has maybe fewer instructions, and we're just going to walk through it and see if how buildable it is. Oh, that looks really cool. So it looks like this is kind of like a turbine we got right here. So this kit could really go with a lot of different things. It even could be like a fast finishers, and you just either pull out or photocopy the directions and put this stuff there, and you're reading a book about alternate sources of energy or what have you, and they get to do that if they finish first or quickly. I mean, that only has a few directions. We might come back to that one. I'm going to just flip through a few more. I would definitely say this has a lot of science related components. It does look like a lot of simple machines, a lot of force and motion, things like that, mechanic kind of things. Um, you could definitely dive into those types of things in this. 100% engineering, 100%. You could, there's, I mean, just off the top of my head, there's quite a few literacy connections you could make. There's quite a few writing extensions you could do. Definitely math. This has got all the good components of STEAM for sure, for sure. This one is the one that sparked my interest, and so I think we're gonna try to do this one. Now, I will also be honest with you. We're gonna build this little trike, a little trike. Um, one of the bags was open when I bought it, and so I'm really hoping that all of the needed materials are indeed here, because I did not count all the pieces and compare the bag. I was like, well, I get what I get for $4. So there you have it. So I'm going to pause right here and get all my materials together, and then we're going to come back and build one. Okay, we are back. I have taken out all of the components and just organized them by step. And then I will say, like, as I was doing that, I noticed a couple of things. One, it does have some like blown out directions, so it gives you a little bit more specifics, which is great. And then it also shows you, because some components look very similar, it does show you more exact what component it's talking about. So also a really good thing to have in there. So let's jump in. We are building the trike. Step one has one of these, and we are going to put two of these into there. Looks like the big side down in the next to last. All right, so here it does snap in really easily. That's nice. It does show you exactly which hole to use, which is also really great. Keeping it organized and in line. And then we have this piece. We're going to put two of these in on the ends. I will say, like, you do have to have some dexterity, hand-eye coordination, etc. Now we're going to attach these to this, and it looks like the long piece. Okay, that's what it does. So with this, we do this here. All right, and then we have the L shape. Oh, whoops, I did that backwards. That's supposed to be pushed down. And then this goes this way. Okay, very good. I will say the picture directions do take a little bit to get used to. And I think that um, if your child struggles with this step, frustration could definitely be a part of it, because I've already looked at it and done it wrong, and now it's a little challenging to get it apart. So kind of keep that in mind as you're doing this. If you have done build kits before, then you will. It's very similar. The pieces are all very similar. They're going in a very similar way, you know. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go through the process, and really look, because like obviously I'm trying to hurry, but if you look and count the holes, like it shows you exactly how to do it. I think that if you're just not paying super close attention is when it's gonna start to get a little frustrating, for sure. All right, so now we're moving to the next step. I've got a big L, a long rod, and then a stopper piece. So it looks like I'm going to connect this on the opposite side. So we have this piece that we just made, and then we're going to connect this and then run that through. And that is free flowing. So now we're going to put this piece on here. All right, so now we're moving on to step 3, which looks like we have 2 of these pieces and a white connector. So this goes through here, and then these look like they connect on the outside. So this looks like we're building our seat, getting ready for our petals. Oh, that's pretty exact. Like I had to just squeeze it in. There's no overlap. So again, I'm seeing where there could be potential moments of it didn't work or frustration. So just kind of keep an eye on that. And then it's showing me. Okay, so we're going to put hmm yeah, okay, I see what it's doing. These are really just spacers. So we're going to put one on this side. Not sure why they didn't just have you do that all in one step. But anyways, now that's on. And then we're going to put these on to kind of grab it, I guess, a little bit more. And those slide on as well. This looks like it's very long. Okay, step number 4, we're going to add some wheels. So originally you do have to build the wheels. So it has these 2 pieces and they just pop in together. That is pretty easy. It doesn't take a whole lot. I imagine most kids would be able to do that pretty easily. All right, so we've got 2 wheels, and then we've got the white connector piece. So we're gonna put the wheels, oh, that's for the front. So the wheels go on the black rod. Oh, see, look, I did it wrong. Maybe. No? You know, guys, I really can't tell. It looks different, but we're going to go with this because this is what the first picture looked like. So we're just going to pop them on. All right, so now we've got our wheels on, and then we're gonna attach this piece to the front of it. That looks like it goes like this with this little attachment. All right, so that slides in there. You cannot slide it all the way without another piece, so just kind of keep that in mind. Not my favorite practice. I think I would have wanted to use one that like you could just push in, but I had to use this component to push it in to get to the middle. So there's that. All right. And then we are going to build the front wheel out. So now, excuse me, we're going to go to this step. And this step is where it has like more instruction. So that's really great. We're going to build out the two wheels, again, putting the rubber on the component. That was super easy, definitely doable. So we've built out our two wheels, and then these are connected by this. So we're gonna put those on there. I will say if you push the wheel incorrectly, the rubber does come off pretty easily. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then these go side by side. So they're gonna touch, looks like. And then we are going to take another one of these and put it in this guy like that. And then we're going to put one of these spacers on like that. All right, and then it looks like we're building two of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. One for each side, the spacer. And then these look like they slide on each side of the wheel. So it's going to go on this side, and this goes on this side. All right, and now this part goes on top like that. And then it looks like this guy goes in the middle. So we're going to do another rod in the middle, but that you don't want to push it down too hard because otherwise it would catch the tire. So just enough, I guess, to kind of grab it. All right, so now we have this part. So we've got our front wheel. And so now we are going to connect them. So this is the final step of this. That goes on there. Oh, okay. And then this goes on top. Oh, wait. Sorry, I did it backwards. Like this. I feel like I'm missing a piece. How does that connect? All right, let me go back. Oh, I put the piece in the wrong. Oh, that's why it didn't fit. Put it in the wrong side. There we go. So this did not go on this side. It went on this side. Again, that ability to look at the picture and be able to determine, yeah, that fits much better. I do like that. Okay. Be able to determine where it's going and what it's doing. Okay. So now this is going here, and we can attach that. All right. We're getting there. Okay, so now the last step is to build, it looks like, the handlebars. So we're going to do this and these. And then that just puts on top here. All right, so we did it. It was not crazy complicated. It took a few minutes. The front wheel does not turn. Let's see if I can loosen that up and see if it turns. No, it is not going to turn. Okay. It is not designed to turn. So that is not my favorite. The back wheels do spin, and you can even steer it a little bit with that, but the front wheels are stationary. So don't super love that. I'm just going to look back real quick and see if I missed something. I think there would probably be a pretty simple fix if you wanted the front wheel to turn, which I absolutely would. But overall, it was not crazy complicated. Definitely was not super hard. As I said while I was building, definitely some points where I could see kids getting frustrated. Um, you would definitely kind of need to go through the parts, because I think maybe I picked some of the wrong lengths. It does show you like this one is longer than this one and this one is shorter than that one. And so it does show you. So I did do that, but I think there's probably even shorter ones that I should have used besides these. So I would kind of maybe go through the parts list a little bit more before building and make sure. And then this is a great problem solving moment, a really cool opportunity for some engineering. So have them look through the components and say, okay, how could we switch? What could we switch? How could we make this rotate? Like, what piece do we need to trade out so that this wheel freely spins, right? And so that would actually be a great extension. But it is super cute. It's super cute. I mean, is it the best quality? I don't know that it's the best quality, but it is good. It's decent. It feels like it goes together really well. So I would say it's pretty good. Okay, so it is a kit. It does have a hefty book. You may could even find videos online. I didn't look, but there might be videos online that gives more in-depth directions, so that could be cool. It definitely teaches quite a few concepts. There's definitely room for creativity. There's definitely room for critical thinking. You could absolutely let this be a partner or maybe a trio activity. I think if you get any more than that, personally, it gets a little cumbersome for everybody to really participate. And so I would probably stick with a partner if it were in my room. But a trio could work if somebody is really not great at building or doesn't feel super comfortable or confident. So that is an option. It is easy to get started. I would say the directions on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being really great, 1 being can't even follow them, I would say maybe a 3, 3.5. Really just pay attention to those little arrows, counting the holes, really looking at your parts list and getting the right parts. I will say if I had not pulled all my components up front, it probably would have been a lot longer or more frustrating. So pulling every step out and organizing it was my strategy. I would say that that was super helpful for the process. Um, I would say it's enjoyable. I don't think it takes super long to set up or build. I think that will it keep them interested? If they are able to do this kind of task, yes, because they can build so many different things. And then once they understand kind of the mechanics and the structure and what different pieces actually do, like the functionality of the piece, they could, I mean, literally, the sky is the limit. They could really go wild with what they wanted to build and how to build it. And so I think this is something you could absolutely use again and again for lots of different things. It does look like it has enough components to maybe do several builds and leaving them together. So, picking ones that didn't use all the tires, kind of thing. So, keeping that in mind. But I definitely think you could have several groups or partners working on different things at a time. So I definitely think it is something that would keep them interested. I definitely think it's enjoyable and engaging. Definitely say it would be something they would use again and again. Always love those types of things that we can take it apart and do it again or make something different, right? So, takeaways, I would say definitely educational, definitely relevant, 100% in the realm of STEM. Lots of things that can make connections, lots of ways to utilize the different components to enhance and bring a hands-on component to force and motion and simple machines. And you could even use some things like this to do like a Rube Goldberg project and chain reactions and all of those types of things. And so I do think that there are immense measurable takeaways from this. Does it promote hands on? For sure, it does. Does it promote problem solving? 100%. And you may even preface the activity with you're going to need to problem solve. Maybe perseverance is a part of the conversation before you start because there are points of potential frustration or confusion. And so I think having those kind of conversations beforehand so they know, okay, this could get frustrating kind of idea, is always a good preface. Is it inquiry based? Absolutely. You could definitely use this as a foundation of understanding and knowledge base, and then do a whole thing. Like they could really go all kinds of ways with that. Durable and well made. I would say probably a 3.5 on durability. Definitely think for the price I paid for it, 100% would buy it again. For $20, if this was your learner's style of um, inquiry, exploration, hands-on kind of engagement, I would say $20 is definitely worth it. If this is not something that you're like, oh, for sure, they're gonna love it. Maybe look for it on sale. Wait for a clearance, or check your local bin store. You could even check like Goodwills or like a thrift store and see if they have any kits that people have donated. Talk to your friends with older kids that are getting rid of things. They're like making space for other things. So if you're not 100% certain, I would say if you're budget conscious, then go ahead and look for those kind of alternatives. But for $20, I would say it's a pretty decent kit for sure. Um, Ongoing costs, there's no ongoing costs. In terms of inclusivity, I would say that dexterity is going to be a thing. Like you're going to need to be able to use your hands and be pretty meticulous with components. Once it's built, I would say it's a little bit more accessible for friends that are not as hand-eye coordinated or things like that. I would say fine motor skills definitely are going to be a plus. ability to look at pictures and then look at the thing in real life and compare and contrast and be able to relate. Those types of things are going to definitely be needed. But I think there's definitely some adaptations you could do to make this accessible to any kind of learner. Obviously, facilitation, guided walkthrough, even just laying it out and verbally saying, okay, this is where you put this is where you put that, could be a great way to include some different types of learners. Tips or advice, I would say, maybe just reiterating what I said before, preface the activity with sometimes these can be frustrating, or sometimes we have to try again, or make sure you compare, the parts to what you're getting to the picture kind of thing. So I would I would say preface the activity with those things that you could see your student or your child getting frustrated with. And then just watch out for the pictures, because I think sometimes we think we're doing the right thing and then it turns out it wasn't. And so I would say just kind of double check with that. And maybe even like, I could see making a picture, like a photocopy of this, and cutting the steps apart, even could be an adaptation that I would probably really like too, because it's a lot to look at all on one page. Like, all of my directions were just one page. So I would say even something like as simple as that could be super helpful to kind of cut down on confusion and really minimize, okay, what am I looking at in order to do the step that I need to do right now. So those are kind of the things that I would say. Definitely recommend it. I think there are so many kids that love building these days, and I am a huge proponent of bringing play back into the classroom. And so if I can do something like this as an extension or an introduction or a point of hands-on inquiry for my students with something they're learning, then this is engaging them in a way that is a little different. And I think while the opportunity for frustration is there, it is a different kind of frustration. And so I really do like that. I love that component about it. And so I definitely would recommend it. I would definitely buy it again based on the price point. As I use it, I'll let you know if I have any updates on durability or what have you. And so I would rate this probably a 3.5 out of 5 for sure. I'm kind of verging on a 4 just because it's adaptability. I really think the ability to make so many different things is really what is selling me on this kit. So let's go with a 4. 4 stars out of 5 on this one. All right, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the STEM Spark. This is Courtney. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this episode, please smash that like button, share it with a friend, a teacher, a parent, a fellow caregiver, or just a STEM enthusiast. And we will see you next time. This is the STEM Spark, where curiosity sparks creativity. Bye.